Laziness is a problem. Let me explain. Have you ever noticed how a small task like, I'll just do the laundry tomorrow, somehow turns into, I need to spend my entire weekend doing the laundry, dishes, cleaning, and a bunch of other stuff? That's the first issue with laziness. Procrastination. The more you put off tasks, the more they will accumulate, and suddenly you're drowning in responsibilities. When you let laziness take the wheel, everything sort of just snowballs. You end up overwhelmed, stressed, and wishing you hadn't ignored those tasks in the first place. But you did. Now let's talk a bit about mental load. Here's the part nobody really talks about. When you delay doing things, your mind doesn't forget about them. Those unfinished tasks just sit there, taking up mental real estate. It's like having a million browser tabs open in your brain, and it slows everything else down. Because we only have a limited amount of RAM, there's only so much we can do. You can't relax because in the back of your mind, you know there's stuff you should be doing. It creates this low-key anxiety that follows you around throughout the day. Not only that, but it's a very messy slope you don't really want to go down. The more you avoid tasks, the harder it actually gets to get them done. It's like quicksand. The longer you wait, the deeper you sink. Over time, your brain gets used to this pattern of procrastination, and it just starts feeling impossible to get back on track. That isn't just about productivity, it's about training your brain to get comfortable with not doing things, which makes motivation plummet. Now let's talk about the long-term effects. Here's where laziness can really bite you. When you keep putting things off, it doesn't just mess your day-to-day life, it can start to affect you in the long term. Missed deadlines at work, neglected relationships, poor health because you're skipping workouts. These things add up and affect other things. Over time, laziness can derail the things you care about the most. So you might be sitting there wondering how to break out of the lazy loop. Now let's not get too dramatic. Laziness isn't some incurable disease, it's just a habit, like any other psychological habit. So that means you can break it. So what do you have to do? Number 1, start very small. If you're staring at a mountain of tasks and feel completely lost, start with something tiny, like just clear out one corner of your room, reply to one email, or even just get up and stretch. The trick is always momentum. Once you start moving, it's easier to keep going. Number 2, the 5-minute rule. This is a game changer. Pick a task and promise yourself you'll do it in just 5 minutes. That's it, just 5 minutes. It's a very small amount of time. That doesn't make it a huge commitment, but it's long enough for you to create a little progress, which leads to momentum. And once you start, you'll just keep on going. And even if you don't, at least you did something. Number 3, you need to cut out the distractions. We all know our phones are laziness traps. 1 minute can change a lot of time. 1 minute you're checking a message and the next thing you know, you're 3 hours deep into a TikTok video. If you're serious about getting stuff done, put your phone in another room or use apps that block out distractions. Just keep cutting out the constant stream of content, and that will make a huge difference. So yeah, being lazy isn't the worst thing in the world, but it can be a sneaky problem if you let it become. It's all about balance. A little laziness is normal, and honestly, sometimes it's pretty necessary. But if it's stopping you from living your life and hitting your goals, that's when it's time to shake things up.